so terrible that in order to be able to pull this off, I am out in the street where it's making a lot of noise. There have been violent storms that were here, but I wanted to make at least 1 or 2 readers here in honor of the brewery that has been closed because they shut down after all of the work that they did on starting up another building. This is for Circle Brewing. We got a keg from them and we did not start it until today so that I could have some Circle. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. This has been a long time since this place has been actually in operation. Pretty good. Anywho, but I won't have time for that because I'm going to be reading poetry. I'm excited during this time to be sharing with you poetry from the as of yet released 2024 book from Cyberwit, a collection of my poetry from around the world and even beyond. And it is titled The Universe is in Your Hands. All I have is this cover. I'm sorry if I can't show it to you very well, but this is it. It's got James Webb Telescope images from the first round of work that's done. Oh my God, what did you just find? Probably something to recycle. See, we have to be good for the environment. This is why I'm here with an extra can. But this is a shot from the James Webb Telescope that is superimposed with flags from the entranceway to United Nations in Geneva. And that's going to be the cover. I know it's hard for you guys to see it, but it's not even out yet. So proof copies are to come and it'll be available and printed by this summer for when I am visiting Chicago in August for shows. And I wanted to read material for you from this book. So I figured I'm going to bring a proof copy along and just start from the beginning and see what we've got. As I said, I apologize for starting late, but you know, traffic, what can you do? This first one, the first poem in the book, I love it, is titled Beginning of the Universe. I submit. In the first inextricably hot moment of the universe, plasma, our fourth state of matter, may have been the first matter when matter couldn't even exist in our universe. It seems so insurmountable, understanding where we came from, how everything began. People can talk about the Big Bang Theory, and that's exactly what it is, a theory. But these science types keep finding more evidence to back up their crazy claims. So whether you believe the universe started as a speck of nothingness with enough energy to create and define everything, these theories still seem beyond our feeble imagination. But if astrophysicists have speculated, try to imagine this. After that first great explosion, wait a minute, if there was no sound waves or light, explosion is a way too human term. After that first monumental expansion of so much energy out of nothingness, expanding at insurmountable speeds and creating space itself, all of this energy, massless energy, too hot and energetic to create atoms, was too hot to even form protons or neutrons. That left the universe these quarks, subatomic particles that couldn't even bind to create anything in that first second. So, what do you get when these quarks get all hot and bothered? That's when they clicked with gluons and created, quote, a perfect liquid in its first moments. Because when that universe was too hot for energy to trade some energy from mass in that as of not yet non-existent Higgs field, the gluons could at least stick these quarks together, making an irreplaceable plasma. Now, it might be a mistake to call it a liquid because plasma, like heated gas, would be impossible to feel in our hands. So when they call it a liquid, it's not like water in serene hot springs or almost too warm bubble baths, because in that first fraction of a second universe, 10 to the 10th power Kelvin is beyond too warm. Because really, with such a scalding temperature and no matter to get in the way, once these gluons group these quarks, all they can do is flow in the smoothest slide. We often call plasma the fourth state of matter, but in this fractionally sized and timed universe, this quark and gluon plasma may literally be the first state of matter our universe has ever known. We look up at the night sky, marvel at stars sparkling through our atmosphere, and we never think about the forces that hold things together in this ever-expanding universe. Strong and weak nuclear forces, electromagnetism, and gravity, at the weakest of the four. But in the very beginning, all of these forces binding us together had to start after this universe started. And if these science types have their calculations right, these fundamental forces started fractionally after quarks, gluons, and muons were created, which only later clumped together into protons, neutrons, atoms, where matter could even be made. So, although we can't imagine it, since we could never touch or feel plasma, stop for a moment and imagine the ethereal feel of a fog blanketing mountaintops. Or better yet, sense the steam from boiling water, maybe from piping hot coffee, with all that energy waiting to be released. Sorry, I have to do my science ones, and I had to start this book with the beginning of the universe. Who knows, maybe I got an end of the universe one at the end. If I've got time to read it for this Poetry Bound today, I might. But the next poem that is in the book, as I had said, this is about different locations. That was actually just about the universe in the beginning of it. But this one mentions, oh wow, it says Austria, Galapagos Islands, Germany, Antarctica, Alaska, Russia, Argentina, and China. This was a poem that was written as a continuation of a project from someone in the UK. They said, you take the last line of something and use it as the first line of your next piece and come up with something. So I did that with this first line, and I created the poem Out Toward the Horizon. Driftwood disintegrated out with the tide, like the flotsam wreckage of our once lives. Jetsam drifts to shore while we all still so fall in love with the sea, and our essence drifts out toward the horizon until I find myself lost, wondering where on earth that damn land is. I know we are 70% water. I can feel like a fish, a dolphin, or even a bird, like an Arctic penguin, porpoising our way through the deepest depths, for water is our essence. Too many times that ocean called out to me, and I dove in, head first, swimming out too far, until violent waves came crashing into me, capsizing me deep into the sea, forcing down my throat an ocean of traumas, past, present, future, until I suddenly wondered if it matters if it rains, treading water. A cyclone, hurricane, typhoon swells inside me until water overwhelms me. I start randomly swimming to look for land. Just swim. Make a choice to try to find that edge. They say that land is vast, but this water is endless. Well, I'm still trying to find that edge, so I start to panic. And this is when I realized that edge is right there. Is it dirt? Is it sand? When I finally get there, I see the wrinkles in your cupped hands holding that water, holding that world. And now it all suddenly comes flooding black. You saved me again, like I saved you before. Our souls are intertwined. We've lived for eons, nourishing each other, from climbing the Alps to following Darwin. Arbeck macht frei, wrought iron gates rattle in our hands. We shiver together in the middle of South Pole winds, making music before the 1 a.m. Arctic aurora borealis. So what if armed guards that from Russia watched us? Don't cry for me. Throughout the hemispheres, throughout history, we stepped over these gold bars to emperor rooms. For, as I said, we've lived for eons, nourishing each other. And now it's your turn to hold that water. Let me swim to your hands until I climb out, jump onto your earth, stand. You can then turn your hands, spill that water, and finally embrace me. The thing that was adorable is that the man that I wrote that for was just walking by there, and I'm like doing the hands for him as he was walking by. Anywho, as I said, these are poems about different locations because I had to go into an area, an order, and I started off with something about a bunch of locations, and then I've got one little one about Australia. And then we're just gonna start going around the world. This one is a Twitter-length periodic table poem, and it is titled Neodymium Magnets Up Your Nose. Boredom during coronavirus self-isolation led to an Australian astrophysicist placing neodymium magnets on both sides of both nostrils, till the magnets up his nostrils stuck to each other through his nose. Oh my God, this one. He had to go to the hospital to get neodymium stuck out from up his nose. We would set up Instagram images and everything like that, so I've got some neodymium in there as well, and that was such a hysterical story. And it's a good way to be able to segue into the next one I have for the Marshall Islands, which is another Twitterverse periodic table poem for Einsteinium. You know, you can't really see it so well here, but you can check it out online if you like, or buy a copy of this book when it comes out. Einsteinium, from Flying Through Mushroom Clouds. From 1952 U.S. H-bomb tests at the Marshall Islands, fighter pilots flew F-84 Thunder jets into mushroom clouds to get atoms from nuclear explosions. Glenn Seaborg at Berkeley Labs found 200 atoms of what would be element 99. Once declassified, they later named it Einsteinium. I think I'm going to do one short one and then go to break, and then we'll do another set of readings for you guys. And this one is for the Kiribati Islands, and it's called Kiribati. One poem short, and then I'll close it out and start again very soon. This is Kiribati. The beginning of a history webpage article reads, in effect, if you tell me you were born in Kiribati on December 31st in 1994, then you would firstly be a liar, and secondly, you do not exist. Because at the change of the time zones that previously called Gilbert Islands, these Kiribati Islands were divided up by international date lines. And the western portion was 24 hours ahead of its eastern side. So, in effect, there were only 4 days in the week where businesses could even do any work and have any work conducted. The article explained that to correct the date line was shunted to the east so that all of the island were on the same day. But to do this, the islands had to skip the entire last day in December to pull this off. I've always been wondering what I should be doing on New Year's Eve. But what if, on one year, there was no New Year's Eve? What then? 2024 Poetry Bomb. I will come back with more live readings, and this time for you guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you all really soon. Double close awesome. I'll see you in just a second.